Today, as a part of the second 6 wisdom capsules, we discuss in detail about Sajjana Sangatyam, means sharing of our spiritual experiences to the fellow beings. So, sharing of experiences is a master key among the 3 wisdom capsules like Dhyana Swadhyay, Sajjana Sangatya, meditation, spiritual book reading, and spiritual sharing. These are the 3 master keys given by Patriji. Among the 3 master keys as solutions for our day-to-day problems, sharing of our spiritual experiences with the truth seekers is very, very important. Among these experiences, the third eye experiences means whenever we are sitting in meditation, if we see something through our Ajna Chakra, third eye point, it is called a third eye experience. Similarly, the dreams, when we sleep, we get a certain amount of dreams, which we are aware of it, we recollect, and then symbolically we try to understand the dream experiences and the day-to-day coincidences that occur in our life. So these are some normal spiritual experiences, which we need to share with the other spiritual masters. Similarly, the out of body experiences, which we call as astral travel, those experiences also we need to share with the people. And the main idea of sharing of experiences is to make our nirvanic body zero. Means we have to make our ego zero so that the nirvanic body will become activated and it will expand, which is the 7th body. As the above, so below. Here the above means the 5, 6, and 7 bodies. 5th body will be activated by meditation. 6th body, supra casual body, will be activated by reading spiritual books. And 7th body, the nirvanic body, will be activated by sharing our experiences to other people. So the 5, 6, and 7 are the above. As so, the below means the physical body. So, whenever we are traveling through our life experience, there is every chance we may maintain some false images. So, coming out of these images is like whenever we share our experiences with other people, naturally we open and then people will come to know what we are exactly. So that will automatically make us completely zero. The more we listen to other people and the more we share about ourselves to others, the more we become zero. That is how we can activate the nirvanic body, the 7th body consciousness. By sharing our spiritual experience and the life experience with other people, the I becomes zero. So attaining this zero state will automatically increase the transparency in the mind layers, in the mental level. Whenever the I becomes zero, because we are becoming very transparent, easily we can align with the universe and we can download our program, whatever we have chosen before birth. So the pre-birth plan will be downloaded from the our self to the under self very easily, provided if we maintain our filter zero, which happens only through sharing of our spiritual experiences. And the immediate advantage of sharing our spiritual experience to fellow beings is like while teaching, we will come to know more and more dimensions of the point that we have realized through our experience. Immediately, the moment we get a spiritual experience, there will be some initial explanation through our inner realms either in the form of intuition or we download from the universe a certain amount of information based on the experience, whether it is a dream or meditation experience. But whenever we are trying to share the same experience again and again with the people, every time we are trying to express the experience, we will get a different way of explanation and analytical points, and a certain examples also keep changing while explaining the same experience to other people. And in a given lifetime, we go to different levels. So at every level, the same experience will give a different explanation. So that's why, to gain more and more wisdom and to looking into all possible ways, we need to share our experiences with the other masters. According to Richard Bach, every enlightened master at a given point, they are supposed to maintain a state where we have to declare ourselves that we are all learners, teachers, and doers at any given point. So, of course, we need to learn new things from everyone. And in parallel, we need to teach whatever the best we know, and what we are going to learn, that we are going to teach most to other people. So, as a part of learning, we teach. And of course, whatever we are doing, that itself will automatically teach to the people. So, if we want to learn simplicity, we need to meet a great leaders who followed the simplicity like Gandhiji. So, the moment we look at it, those people, we understand that how simple they are. So, that is teaching through doing. So, here, as a part of this learners, teachers, and doers bridge, we have to understand at any point, we have to be ready to teach whatever we are learning most. And coming to different opportunities for teaching across PSSM and Spiritual Tablet Research Foundation is like we have plenty of options to do something by online, and similarly in person we can meet people and we can conduct sessions where we can share our spiritual experiences in a public platform. So both online and offline, we have plenty of opportunities. Among these, the daily meditation sessions which we are conducting through this PMC France, there, before or after meditation, one can share their spiritual experiences as a part of our spiritual practice to reap the benefits out of spiritual sharing. Similarly, we are conducting 40-day sessions by online. So there one can share their experiences. And there are annual gatherings where a big mega meditation summits are happening. Thousands of people gather. And there, if we share our experience, a lot of people will come to know how best we did in our life. And we can set a role model for other people, which is a part of our service towards the community. And apart from this, the broadcast channels like the radio channels and especially the Permanent Meditation channels, PMC, in so many languages across the globe today are in operation. So we can contact them and we can share our spiritual journey as an experience, which is a greater place, a major place to share our spiritual experience. And spiritual culture programs will happen here and there of any organization. So there, in between the programs, we can share a little about our journey so that a lot of people get motivated about meditation, spiritual science, and plant-based diet. And one can conduct flash mobs in the city centers of any major place where we can gather and we can share our experience with the people. You can simply keep a placard about meditation. People start coming to you, identifying you, and then you can chat with them. You can share your experience. It is as simple as that. After all, we all came here to share each other, to cherish each other. We are not disturbing anyone. We are just keeping a placard bearing the name meditation. Then people with a like-minded ideology will automatically attracted. They will come to you and ask you, what are you? Then you have to share your journey. That is sufficient. So this is how easy it is. So flash mobs are the best places where we can meet a new people, brand new people, and we can share about our journey. And then in return, we can get their experiences, life experiences as well. So the sharing of experiences are very grateful in giving solutions to from thyroid problems or Vishuddha problems. Because the more you spread the truth with other people, the more we are doing accumulating the good karma, which automatically cleanses the expression area, that is the throat. So that's why there are certain illnesses or problems. They can be cured by teaching. In the teaching, we are sharing our experience, whatever the best we read from the books, whatever we have experienced through our meditation and life, that we are trying to share to other people, which becomes a solution for the people who are in need. So that will automatically increase our positive balance. And hence, as a part of our learning and to solve our problems, at times we need to consider giving the great truths like plant-based diet, meditation, pyramid power, etc. to the other people, which is a part of the solution to our own problems at different levels of the body. So here the PSSM is unique in its own way, allowing all the participants to share their experiences publicly otherwise. Most of the spiritual organizations and the thoughts, school of thoughts, they say one should not share their experience to the fellow beings. But based on the enlightened masters' sayings, Patriji has given us a great opportunity to share our experiences with each and every master as and when we get opportunity. So as I said in the previous sessions, the spiritual journey starts with meditation. After attaining a certain amount of energy and doing meditation in a best possible way, then we switch to spiritual book reading. And if we are well contented with wisdom and we are able to practically implement those wisdoms and reaping the benefits, then it is time for us to share our spiritual experience to fellow beings. So one after other, step by step, the journey will start. But after reaching a point, we maintain all the three in parallel. We meditate for some time and we need to read spiritual books, and parallelly we need to share our experience with other people. All the three will go hand in hand. So that is how the spiritual sharing will help a young aspirant to develop himself and to nurture his soul. So without any hesitation, let us all share our experiences during our daily meditation sessions and full moon meditation sessions. Let us open our mouth with whatever the feelings we are getting, whatever the way we are doing meditation and gained wisdom and applying them to our day-to-day life and got benefited, so that it will help the young meditators who joined new. They will be more inspired by listening to the seniors' experiences. Thank you. Thank you very much for giving this great opportunity. Namaste. As a part of our regular spiritual tablet sessions, today we discuss on the wisdom capsule health science classes. The health science classes are the one where spiritual master will share all his wisdom to the people who are seeking for the truth. And regularly in meditation sessions, apart from meditation, a master can share his wisdom from various spiritual books and on a particular topic to enlighten the people. So these are called spiritual science, health science classes, because the spiritual science is the key element to attain complete health. So to attain health, we need to know the spiritual science as a base. So these health science classes are nothing but sharing the spiritual wisdom to the people, which will change or which will work on the intellectual system to give them a perfect health. In every session, we try to share 0 to 100 steps. Means in every spiritual science or health science class, when a master is delivering a lecture or sharing his wisdom, it carries from 0 to 100 steps. He may speak about many things, but based on the level of our understanding, we resonate with a particular step. So that indicates we are operating in that particular step. Even though there are so many steps given by the master, but we identify only in particular steps where exactly we are growing or we are operating. And to understand the health science classes importance, we have to go through the concept Chalakadu to Sasanudu, means a common man to a ruler. So let us look into that common man to ruler concept now. So this common man to ruler concept, a common man means Chalakadu, means a person who is living in day-to-day life with a basic material wisdom is called a common man, who is just moving from one place to other place. Yes. So this common man has to upgrade himself to a state where he has to listen a lot to other people. So this common man should transform into listener. So this Chalakadu now becoming Shravanadu. Shravan means listening. He has to listen a lot from the spiritual masters, like the health science classes we are teaching now. One has to listen to it. So this listening itself is the listener state. After listening a lot from the master, they slowly step into a state where they will grasp the information given by a spiritual master. So from the health science classes, by listening to the other people, they will grasp some amount of wisdom, some amount of truth or knowledge from that classes. So now they are in a state called Grahakudu, means grasper. After grasping the information, he understood this truth is very valuable and it is very important in my life. So whatever he has understood, that he want to practice now, he is called Sadhakadu, means practitioner. So after grasping the information, understanding it is very valuable and important in life, he will start practicing himself with all the methods of meditation and the truths that were uttered by the master. Now the Sadhakadu practitioner will try to practice it in his day-to-day life. Now, after practicing the information given by the master, he will experience the truth for himself and he will reach a state where he has abundant wisdom and practical experience and he understands the truth and he enjoys the benefits of truth, and now he want to teach the same to other people. So now he becomes a teacher. So this is called Bodhakadu, means so now the teacher is ready to conduct a health science class or a spiritual science wisdom sharing session to the other people. And after becoming a teacher, if they maintain the same teaching state for a couple of years, then their words will become so perfect. If they say any word, if they utter any word, that becomes a word written on a stone. Means they becomes the rulers. Means whatever the truth they said, whatever they uttered, they becomes the truth. So this Bodhakadu should become Shashanadu. Shashanadu means whatever they said, it becomes like a sentence given by a king. So the teacher has to transform as a ruler. So here the stages are like, from a common man, one has to listen to the truth as a listener. And once he listens on a regular basis, he becomes grasper. He will grasp the information. After grasping the information, he will become a practitioner. So once he practices that information, he will experience the truth and he becomes the teacher. So if one can maintain the teaching position for a longer period, then he becomes the ruler, means the God. So in this chain of steps, if we conduct the health science classes, means the spiritual science, then a common man will do a lot of listening of all the sessions, whether you do it on YouTube or Spotify. There are so many platforms through which we can deliver our spiritual science wisdom as a health science class. Then a lot of people will listen to it and they will go to the stage of listening, and from there is every chance to grasp the information from those classes. So we have to do our job to deliver, to make the people to listen, and so that they can grasp the information. Similarly,
Yes,
after practicing a good amount of meditation and reading the spiritual books and going through the spiritual journey, one becomes a spiritual teacher. So now it is the teacher's turn to share the wisdom in the form of health science classes to other people. And while teaching itself, he will learn a lot of things. So that's why these health science classes has to be delivered by the teachers as a part of the learning. So while teaching these health science classes, one has to prepare their own notes to note down the bullet points and the area where they had a heartfelt information, they resonated, that they have to note down, and they have to prepare their own notes after going through these health science classes. After preparing the notes and understanding the truth given by the master, one has to implement those truths in their life. So grabbing the points from the health science class is one level, and after that now we need to implement in our day-to-day life what are the truths that we listened. For example, if we come to know the speech is very precious and we have to maintain silence, and wherever is really necessary, there only we have to talk. After listening about this throat chakra and value of speech and value of silence, one has to practice the same in day-to-day life. And similarly, once we come to know through the master, we should not interfere with the other people's life. We have to practice that non-interference. Once we listen about the non-violence, then we have to practice about the non-violence in day-to-day life by following veganism. So that implementation is very, very important as a part of this health science classes. What are the spiritual lectures we listen from great spiritual science in the early morning in TV and a lot of live programs in YouTube? All those spiritual science sessions conducted by spiritual masters are nothing but the health science classes. Let us look into the places where one can share their spiritual wisdom as a health science class. So, following are the places where one can conduct a health science class or a spiritual science sharing session. Regularly, we see a lot of meditation workshops that happens for 2 hours, half day and full day, etc. In any meditation workshops, there will be a wisdom sharing session. There we can conduct this health science class. And similarly, the book clubs. Whatever the book we are reading, we can prepare a notes, and then that information can be shared as a health science class for the people to gain health. Similar to the daily meditation sessions that we are conducting to adopt meditation to the people, there should be wisdom sharing sessions once in a week or once in a full moon, where different eminent masters should share their wisdom, whatever they have experienced in their life, and that act as a health science class for common man. Similarly, in spiritual health counselings, in one-on-one catch-ups, we need to share the spiritual science as a part of teaching them health science. And whenever we give those spiritual concepts, like in health science, that will help the patient God to come out of their physical, mental, and social problems. And the major annual programs where we are conducting Lord Buddha festival in May, and similarly the mega meditation summits every year we are conducting in the year end. So in those programs, a lot of masters, spiritual masters, will share their wisdom as a health science class.
Yes.
Any spiritual scientist who has written the spiritual books, so they might have given a lot of talks, TED talks, or orations they might have conducted by online and offline. So all these spiritual scientists' orations are considered as health science classes. So these health science classes are the tools with which we can give immense spiritual wisdom to the patients, God. So in Spiritual Tablet Research Foundation, we are delivering around 150 spiritual tablets in level 1 course, and this health science will make the people to implement these truths in their day-to-day life to gain complete health. After learning the level 1 spiritual tablet wisdom, and once they do some service in the project, then slowly they will be upgraded to the next level, where in the level 2 we teach another 150 spiritual concepts as a health science class to go to some more deeper layers of the truth. So by learning this level 1 and level 2 wisdom, one can become a very good workshop trainer, so that every day, somewhere or other, they can conduct these health science classes to the people, and through which they can do a great contribution to the community across the globe. So the truth that we are going through these health science classes will replace our rotten, wrong belief systems and establish the scientific facts, the scientific truths, so that the internal belief system is changed and there is every chance, every possibility to gain perfect health in body, mind, and intellectual level. So, the rotten, dependent beliefs were replaced with scientific facts or scientific truths. So, finally, I am very happy to share all my spiritual tablets wisdom as health science classes every week to all the audience, great audience of France Masters. And I hope everyone go through these health science classes and gain a very good health and spread this wisdom to everyone across French communities throughout the globe. Thank you. Namaste. So, this wisdom is all about healing through wisdom capsules. If we understand the spiritual science, if we align with the universe, then whatever the illness that is there on the body, it can be cured completely. So, today we are going to discuss about regular spiritual life health counseling. So, regular spiritual life health counseling deals about getting counseled by a senior spiritual master on a regular basis, through which we will come to understand where exactly we are operating at any given point of time. In the olden days, every family used to have their own spiritual master. In Eastern countries, it is called Kula Guru, means they will have their own guru or a spiritual teacher. So the spiritual teacher used to act as a great medium to understand as and when people get major problems in their life. Whenever there are minor problems, they can solve themselves. But if there is any major problem, then they used to approach the spiritual master for the solutions through spiritual means. Meeting this spiritual master whenever they have major problems is to happen in a very harmonious and divine way, where they are very happy meeting the master and they offer some fruits or gifts or whatever they can contribute. And the spiritual master, with an unconditional love, he used to pour his wisdom. So, in a harmonious environment, in a joyful state, once in a while, this kind of interaction between the spiritual master and the common man used to happen in olden days. Over a period of time, slowly this culture of meeting spiritual masters is vanished, because people, day by day, they started settling down with material happinesses. Nobody want to look into the meaning of life. Nobody want to become enlightened. No one wants to live like God. So whatever the spiritual component is there, over a period of time, it was completely lost. So people are started living only with this body and mind, leaving the intellect and the soul aside. Nobody is looking inside. Everybody is totally focusing on outward world. And over a period of time, because people are totally deviated from their purpose of life, universe took a toll and it started as a part of the feedback mechanism, people started getting the diseases on their body to set back to normal and natural lifestyle. It is only an indication to go back to the natural kind of life. So at this junction, because people are totally outward, to solve the problems, they created the health science and the doctors. So that is how different types of healing systems emerged, and there are some bunch of doctors. So people started approaching the doctors to cure their problems. So if you observe carefully, the same major problems were used to be solved by the spiritual master. Now the spiritual master is replaced by a modern doctor. So now people are going to doctor and paying money, waiting in long queues, and lot of suffering involved. And whatever the treatment they get, further treatment, there will be some side reactions again. And sometimes the treatments go wrong, and lot of queues, lot of waiting time. So this is not like a harmonious meeting with a spiritual master. This is something like a punishment, a major punishment through the disease and the hospital systems and the treatment systems. And that is how the natural way of having a spiritual master is replaced by a artificial doctors to give some artificial remedy, which is not exactly the actual way of curing the illness. So here, if we look into the history, Jesus Christ says, "Seek is the kingdom of God and his righteousness first, then all else will be added unto you." Means the inside world, the kingdom of God, is very righteous and it is very great, excellent. If we look into it and if we try to understand it, then whatever this health, happiness, prosperity we are seeking in day-to-day life will automatically follow. Without realizing the inside world, the kingdom of God, we cannot achieve the permanent health or happiness. So leaving this great truth and great fact aside, today we are just running behind investigations, hospitals, doctors, medicine, waiting, and whatnot. All sorts of some more complexity into that phase we are entering. It is a utmost need, and it become a necessity to develop the spiritual doctors who share their immense spiritual wisdom to understand the illness in righteous way, so that people can understand their purpose of life. They can understand from where exactly they have deviated from their pre-birth plan or purpose. And once they correct, then automatically they will regain their complete health. So, to understand the illness in a holistic way, in a spiritual way, this regular spiritual health counseling helps in a great manner, where the patient God will get their monthly spiritual prescription. Means once in a month, they meet the spiritual master, spiritual counselor from Spiritualtablets Research Foundation by online or offline, and they will get their spiritual advice. What spiritual books they have to read, how many hours they are supposed to do meditation, what are all the different types of practices they have to follow, how to speak, how to think, what to do in day-to-day life to the community and for the self. All these areas will be enlightened during this monthly spiritual counseling through the spiritual prescription. So this happens in a way If the student is ready, then the master will appear. Whenever the person with a problem to do some intense workout with meditation and committed towards the inward journey, then automatically the true master will appear for them, and they can get their spiritual guidance through that master. And here the process of soul scanning happens. Means in material kind of life, when people get problems, they will go and do body scanning. Different types of scannings will scan the body and they will tell about the disease. But here, the master will look into the spiritual history and they will look into the experiences they are getting. Based on the experiences, they will scan the soul. They will understand where exactly is the problem, whether the problem is in a pre-birth area, like in the past lives, or the current moment, or the future progression, past, present, future. So they will scan the capacity of the soul and the purpose, and accordingly, they will give their spiritual reason to understand the illness in a spiritual manner. So here, we have to understand that our breath is our teacher, our guru, because by observing the breath or being with the breath will allow us to get into that great cosmic energy areas. And whenever we are abundant with energy, we can attract the right spiritual master into our life. The moment we learn from that master, once the lessons and the interaction is completed, in the next level, again we will be attract another spiritual master. So the masters keep changing, like a butterfly going through so many flowers to get into that nectar stuff. The seeker has to change their masters, but the breath is the one which is permanent. So here, the teacher is nothing but the breath. We have to stick on to observing the breath, the regular meditation, that will automatically increase the energy, and with that heightened energy and awareness, we can attract the righteous spiritual master into our life. This is called spiritual life health counseling, because it is spiritual, because we are trying to get some advice related to the spirit, the soul related matters. And it is called life health counseling because the moment you met the master, the first thing he will advise is to meditate. Means he is turning our focus towards the inward journey. So once the people adopt to do the inward journey, the whole life will settle. Means each and every time, as and when we get some problem, there is no need to go to any doctor or any medicine. We can stick to our breath, and through that, we can heal ourselves in a great way. So whatever the advice we are getting, it's once for all. Not like the other systems where we get problems, we go to hospital, treat the disease, again we will get another illness, and again we need to approach the doctor. So this is only a one-time counseling through which we will understand we are the creators of our own problems and we only can solve them. Here, the spiritual strategy will be given either in person or over phone, through social media, WhatsApp. So many systems are there to communicate each other through email. And for the serious illness cases, they will do home visit. In person, they meet at their home and they will try to give the spiritual guidance along with meditation. So here, there won't be any kind of healing happens externally. They promote only the self-healing through wisdom. So they are not healing directly by giving some energy to the suffering individual, but they will give the wisdom through which the self-healing will happen automatically. So here, The spiritual strategy, like how many hours of meditation they are supposed to do, and what are all the places they have to visit, like the greatest energy centers, so that they can go there and they can stay for some time to work on themselves for the inward travel, and what kind of spiritual books they are supposed to read, and what are all the thoughts and speech and actions they are supposed to change. So, all these details, like a spiritual wisdom tablets, as a strategy, spiritual strategy, they will try to give whenever they approach during this spiritual life health counseling on a paper, like 1, 2, 3, 4 instructions they will get, set of instructions. And this spiritual guidance is all about understanding the purpose of life, understanding their blocks in a intellectual plane, and to correct them with a righteous spiritual wisdom. So different spiritual tablets were formulated based on the body part, based on the object signs they get, based on the spiritual experiences they get. Every counseling, they keep on changing the spiritual concepts that they are supposed to follow. And over a period of time, whenever the scientific beliefs were imprinted, the disease will cure automatically. So, with the last 25 years of research and a great spiritual science service, Spiritual Tablet Research Foundation from India is open to conduct any spiritual health counseling or any kind of illness, body, mind, soul, intellect level. And the masters are ready to serve you through spiritual health counseling for your problems without any side effects. With your own wisdom and effort, you can heal yourself through wisdom. Thank you. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to share the wisdom on spiritual life health counseling today on the Spiritual Tablets Foundation. Thank you. Today, we are going to discuss about the trekkings, that is living in nature, and enjoyment science academy, otherwise called Ananda Brahma. Yes. So, coming to the living in nature, the 11th spiritual tablet is all about conducting trekkings and tours into nature, where the group of spiritual masters who are practicing meditation and plant based diet, once in 2 months or 3 months, will go into nature, and through that, a lot of cosmic energy will be received. And arranging trekkings and tours into nature is one of the most important part of a spiritual tablet foundation. Through the trekking programs, when the masters are living in nature, so they adopt the concept called coexistence or co-living. Sahajivanam means we start living with the mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom harmoniously, and what are the minor fears that we will have or about bugs and insects. A lot of people will carry a lot of fears, and all these fears can be completely alleviated, and we start loving the creatures that are living naturally in the greenery environment, and especially the forest, hilltops, and valley areas. We try to conduct trekkings to adopt this co-living or sahajivanam. And while living in nature, a lot of healing vibes we receive from the greenery zone, and the green plants can emerge a lot of energy, and with this energy the self healing could happen, and by hugging the trees one can feel the energy and the love of the plants, and a lot of people will hug the trunks of the trees and meditate for some time. And while walking in natural waters, where the water flow is there from the um, water resources, natural resources in the forest and hilly areas, that gives a lot of energy to our body, which automatically helps in healing process. Nature is the best place to feel the universal energy field. Means the concrete buildings today we are living are may not be very good energy sources, but the nature surrounded with greenery can be a very good energy source. That is a place where we can feel the universal energy field. Hence, whenever we are less in energy, the gradient of that energy is so high, so that from the high energy universal energy field, energy will flow into the low energy areas, and automatically we can get that more and more cosmic energy into our energy system. And practicing oneness means the equanimity among the mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, and animal kingdom and human kingdom can happen. The possibilities of practicing this oneness are more in natural way of living. Whenever we are in the nature, there we can practice that oneness very easily in that heightened energy and awareness, and one can experience the equal feeling with all the natural beings surrounded by. So that's why the mark of evolution and expansion of consciousness is understanding the oneness concept in more practical way. So this can be practiced in a well-versed manner when we are more near to the nature. So living in nature is such a great spiritual concept and tablet, especially in the case of serious illness cases. In the olden days, as an example, when people got affected with tuberculosis and there is no medicine invented for that, so they used to keep these patients suffering with tuberculosis in isolation and in a natural place where there is a good light, wind, and lot of greenery surrounded by, and they used to give them a nutritious food. Just with the help of this nutritious food and living in nature, because of that healing that is going to happen, people used to recover from that major illness. So here, living in nature itself is a great tool to increase our energy to gain a good health. So that's why most of the holistic centers we have created across the globe all are surrounded with complete greenery energy and almost like living in nature. So to conclude, Spiritual Tablet Research Foundation basically using nature and living in nature as a tool to boost the cosmic energy in the patient god, and frequently we try to organize a lot of trekking programs into nature so that one can gain more and more cosmic energy to heal themselves and then to practice oneness, which is one of the most important lessons during our spiritual journey. Coming to the subtopic in this related to trekking is Enjoyment Science Academy, also called Ananda Brahma. Enjoyment Science Academy means today the human existence is all about joy and happiness. So one has to understand how to be happy all the time in a righteous way, with the righteous deeds, actions, speech, and thoughts. So we have to teach enjoyment science. Enjoyment itself is a science. How to be happy, one has to teach it. So for that, under the umbrella of ESSM, we have established the Enjoyment Science Academy, through which we are trying to educate the people to be happy righteously all the time. So here we have to understand that happiness is godliness. So reaching God means one has to be happy in a righteous way. So this starts with a lesson called self-contentment. Without having self-contentment at every given point of time, one cannot be happy all the time. So according to Lord Krishna, whatever that was given to us is always right, and whatever is going to happen, that will be always right, and whatever we have today currently is always for us, and it is always happy. So all the three phases, past, present, and future, one has to have the understanding to be happy always. So that is how we can become God. So here, the three types of happinesses are considered as the main pillars of enjoyment science economy. Happiness through material means, happiness through cultural means, and happiness through soulful means, soul level. So the body level and the cultural level, and then happiness through soul, the blissful happiness comes out of meditation and soul practices. So these three types of happinesses we have to consider. So these three happinesses can be adopted by working with three goddesses: the goddess of abundance, Lakshmi; the goddess of spiritual wisdom, Parvati Ma; and goddess of arts is Saraswati. So by working with three goddesses, we can get into all the three types of happinesses very easily. So the Enjoyment Science Academy encourages to learn a particular art on regular basis. So by learning a particular art, whether it is a musical instrument or vocal or dance, whatever the art form it may be, that constant learning attitude will be maintained, and the immediate intention of the soul is to expand its consciousness by learning constantly. So the moment patient God is out of their illness and have abundant energy, slowly they will step into the enjoyment science, means a culture or an art they'll try to learn, because a lot of time will be saved when they are walking in spiritual path. The unwanted conversations, the unwanted deals and things automatically will reduce, and a lot of time will be saved. So this time can be invested towards learning an art and understanding the enjoyment science. So with this, thank you very much for all of you for giving this great opportunity to share about the 11th tablet in basic 12 tablets, trekkings and enjoyment science academy. Thank you. So today, as a part of the 12 spiritual tablets, we are going to discuss in detail about the 12th spiritual tablet, spiritual science service. Yes. So spiritual science service is giving spiritual science and meditation to the other people. So here we are trying to expand the consciousness of a soul or an embodied body through meditation, spiritual book reading, and sharing. So passing on this information to other people is called as spiritual science service. Before understanding the spiritual science service, we have to understand the most important point: three types of services. Whatever the service we are doing, it is not for others, it is for ourselves. We are learning through service. So during this process, next slide, there are three types of services: social service, spiritual service, and spiritual science service. In the social service,
we are trying to deal with food, shelter, and clothing. Means whatever the service we are doing, support we are giving food or clothing and shelter to the other people. Means it all happens with for a monetary benefit. It is called social service. And coming to the spiritual service, here the first time there will be a discussion about the God concept or an evolved soul. Means in the name of missionaries, whatever the service that is all going on, create a belief system on God. In contrast, in social service, there won't be any belief on God concept, but whereas in spiritual service, the people who are taking the services from the person are influenced by a particular spiritual master. So they may go through that particular spiritual master's knowledge, and definitely they will learn certain things. But here there is a component of dependency. So the only difference between spiritual science service and spiritual service, there is no dependency in the rest of the forms, but in social service, because one has to surrender to his guru, one has to surrender to the organization. There we see surrenderance to service. Means with dependency, they will get the same food, shelter, and happiness benefit, and a God concept is created in spiritual service. Yes. And in spiritual science service, there is a concept called Tirthankara Gotra Bandham. Means during the last stages of any soul, it has to go through spiritual science service. Means spiritual science, a knowledge it acquired, that has to be spread across their downlines. Where they have their purpose, there they will deliver their spiritual service. But with working for at least 5 to 10 years of pure service teaching, the soul may not ascend further. So as a part of their purpose, as a part of their life goal, they will come here as a full-time spiritual service, training teachers or managers or whatever. So that kind of position is also perfect. So here we have to understand the fact that doing others is nothing but doing for ourselves. So whatever we are thinking that we are to something for the other people, it is not exactly that we are doing something to others, but we are doing for our own soul growth. We are doing it, and at a point of time, we are all learners, teachers, and so that one should not forget, because some areas we are comfortable, so we work, we enjoy, and some areas we teach and we learn from them, and in some areas we keep learning. So doing spiritual service, science service, or teaching meditation to other people, teaching spiritual science to other people, is one way of maintaining our teacher position as well as learner position. So that's why to maintain this learner teacher dual kind of range is to take up the spiritual science service. And doing spiritual science service, in other words, it's a great opportunity to improve our love towards the humankind and animal, and it is an opportunity to increase our kindness and compassion, all the positive soul qualities one can express towards the in the form of spiritual science service. So here we are trying to increase our soul vibes in a positive and miraculous way with all positive soul feelings, which are very, very important for the humankind to develop as a God. And being a medical doctor, when I am discussing on, when I am working on the health the problems related to shoulder and the hand, they are majorly related to this give and take mechanism, because with the hand we give something and we receive something. So here the spiritual science service is one way of giving to the community, and we are trying to receive some wisdom from the other masters. So this exchange wisdom, wherever happens through us, is happening through our hand, because we are trying to give something. So any problems related to the spondylitis or neck zone or shoulders or the hand are related to this give and take mechanism. So the objects which are useful in serving spiritual science are all comes under the object science for the spiritual science service. People usually they'll get dreams that they are trying to serve food to other people. So here serving food to the other people is a material expression in the middle for the reason or for the activity called the spiritual science service in the intellectual level. So in the intellectual level, it is spiritual science service, but in the body level, in the material level, it is nothing but serving food for other people. So any experiences related to serving food, either in dream or life, are related to our accuracy or our intent and wisdom in spiritual science service area. So if we are very perfect in spiritual science service, then the material servings that are happens through us, they'll become automatically perfect. So a lot of people, they used to come to me with shoulder problems, neck problems, and different types of hand related problems. And I used to observe some people who do extensive healings to other people. So doing a healing and through energy healing, we are indulging in their karma, and in return, someday or other, we need to face that particular problem on our body. That is how most of the healers they got stuck whenever they interfere with the other people's energy systems. So wisdom is the one. If you increase, the wisdom will increase. It's not bonded with any kind of karma. So hence, doing service is the best way to help others without involving in karmic patterns. So here, the spiritual science service, once one has become a good meditator and he solved all his problems, now he is ready to do his spiritual science service. So the spiritual science service can be so many forms. For example, giving our wisdom through YouTube, social media to the people is a type of spiritual science service. Conducting online and offline spiritual science and meditation workshops, that comes under a spiritual science service. Constructing public pyramids which are useful for the community to develop meditation, that considered as a spiritual service. Translating the spiritual science materials or experiences, bringing them in the form of a book, that itself we can consider as a spiritual science service. Creating awareness about plant-based diet to the people to reduce their karma, and then adopting a divine way of eating habits, that considered as spiritual science service. Creating short films, creating stories, and bringing them in audiovisual form and publishing across social media, which automatically influence the people to understand the value and the benefits of meditation, that itself is a spiritual science service. So thank you very much for giving this great opportunity to share about the spiritual science service, because after completing all the first 11 tablets, the spiritual science service is like a crown, because He is already settled with proper energy and wisdom, and he is living a healthy and happy life. Now it is his turn to share the same wisdom to the other people. That is what now the Arpita is doing through the Karuna Meditation France channel, giving a great translation support to bring this wisdom to the France audience at a large. Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaste.